Welcome back, manky bastards, to what is apparently becoming the hash browns channel or some shit like that. You find me in an unfortunately sober state today, simply because after this I gotta put my tuchus in the car and go down to the Costco for the weekly grocery assault, because I need them fancy Italian hot dogs to make the paschettis. But yeah, maybe I'll do 2 in a day. I know, cold day in hell, right? But I am going to commit, because I've had a chance to go through a big-ass 1-gallon tub of these dried hash brown things, and now I'm on to the smaller ones, but maybe I'll move back to the big one, I don't know. But I'm going to commit a sin today, a culinary sin, that's not only a culinary sin in the world of cast iron, but in the world of, you know, shredded potatoes in general, and that is, I'm going to take this stuff, and this is preheated over high-ish heat. Know your stove, by the way. And I'm going to put it right in the pan. This is actually a culinary sin, because you're always 100% of the time supposed to cook. Fuck it. You're supposed to cook with a fat in the pan, not only for hash browns, but for cast iron in general. So why am I doing this? Well, because I learned that when I grease the pan and I do what I'm about to do, it ends up super greasy. So in an experiment one day, I decided to try none. And yes, this is already looking familiar to the last hash browns thing, but I learned that if I put the cheese on top here, this does 2 things. One is it holds in some of the steam under the cheese, which is cool, and it helps to cook the potatoes more completely. But 2, as the cheese melts, there will be the grease that drips out of the cheese and down onto the pan. So basically, this just has to be given time to melt. Also, the recipe for today's stuff, I had one of these along with some thinly sliced onion, basically about a medium-sized yellow onion, and 8 ounces of beef bacon that I chopped up and then fried in the pan, and so now we got the nice pieces in there. Where the fuck? Yes, there it is. But the beauty of doing something like this is now I've got an extra meal for later on. I can just chuck this in the fridge for a few days, and I got breakfast for the next few days. You know, it's kind of me being semi-lazy, but to me that's like the definition of efficiency is just laziness with a purpose. So, yeah, you plan ahead just the littlest bit. It'll make a monstrous amount of difference. Also, this is cheddar cheese. Medium cheddar cheese, not mild or sharp. I imagine it would work with both mild and sharp, because mild and sharp will both have similar fat content. This will not work with American cheese, in quotation marks. American cheese is basically plastic, pasteurized, processed cheese food substitute. We want the ability to actually pull real dairy fat out of this. And you see it's getting pleasant and melty and such already. Yar. But yeah, this is getting ready to flip. It will have had a chance to brown a little bit before the oil gets to it. Maybe I'll actually wash my hands this time. Yeah. But yeah, breakfast for the next couple of days. I just want to make sure, and this is worthwhile noting as well, that, you know, you go to the grocery store and you're hungry, that's a recipe for disaster. You're going to buy a bunch of shit you don't need. That, and you're going to forget half the shit that you did need because you're hungry. But yeah. Come to think of it, that's actually how I ended up with the beef bacon, but that was not a mistake. I didn't know that beef bacon was a thing. It just looked delicious, and I thought, I'll try it. Yeah, fuck yeah. Almost ready. It's not gonna stick. It'll be fine, but yeah. Yeah, I'll do. Maybe I should take that out. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm hearing, and this is also how I'm playing this, is I'm listening for like the crackle of the oil getting down into the bottom layer of the hash browns. It seems like it's almost there. But now, make sure we loosen it up. There we go. Okay. And we already know from past videos that cheddar cheese is going to be just fine. It's going to not stick to the pan because, you know, we've got a properly seasoned cast iron. Also, one day, you know, that a lot of people have talked on YouTube about, you know, this is how you season your pan, but nobody thus far that I've seen has talked about how to get your seasoning just where you want it. Like fine tune the shit out of it so that it becomes like a proper non-stick. Because, you know, there's certain things on one end of it where, you know, you can get it to be a non-stick, and then there's other things here where you gotta keep it a non-stick. Nobody's addressed that because everybody's all about instant gratification. And frankly, if you're still here watching this part of the video, then, you know, you understand that instant gratification isn't really like a thing. But it's just sort of a thing. Crisp that up real nice, yep. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, clean up after yourself as you go. Save yourself a fuck ton of trouble. Oh. Well. Oh, by the way, part of the reason that I started doing this method, and I started experimenting with this method where I don't grease the... where I don't grease the pan, is because I was ending up with these super heavy, super oily, super greasy, like truck stop type of meals. And while, you know, there's a certain time of year where that can be really desirable, and I mean really desirable, it's not the summertime. So I tried the cheese thing because the cheese seemed to add a fair amount of fat. Now that being said, we still need to take into account we still need to take into account the oiliness that is there. And thank you, Samin Nosrat, for pointing out in one of your books that ultimately you can cut fat, or like cut the fattiness of a meal, or your perception of fattiness with a meal, with an acid. And of course I got lemons over there, but this doesn't look like something that would take kindly to lemons. What about limes? Sure, I'm pretty sure that would work. But a more traditional thing to think about here is the acid that you almost always find in salsa. And not like, you know, not pico de gallo kind of thing, but salsa. Today's salsa is going to be Mom and Pop's El Güero hot salsa. Also, those of you Spanish speakers in the audience, know the irony is not lost on me. You know, I might be a gabacho, but I know what I'm halfway thinking about or talking something. And also, everything in here, like we've got potatoes, which by their nature not very fresh. We got bacon, which by its nature is cured. There's onion in there. It's fresh onion, but now it's cooked onion. So what's the fresh element that we could bring to that? Is green onions. Green onions are damn good on just about anything. And no, I did not wash my green onion. It's growing on my windowsill. I know what's going on in my kitchen. So there should be something to cut the fat and something to add some freshness to it. They are. Ta-da! Okay, yes. It looks slightly black and burned. Let's turn this off. Notice, you know, nothing actually sticking to the pan. I'll turn the fan on in a minute, but we get us a healthy dose of acid / flavor enhancer. Oh, that's a fuckload. All right, well, looks like it's gonna be a musical trip to Costco now. And so this is the part where most people would sit and take a bite and say, oh my god, it's delicious. You know, I don't need to do that crap. You know, you guys are gonna go and try this. If you're not gonna go and try it, then, you know, hey, you watch somebody make something. Hey, you ate up a few minutes on YouTube, and, you know, that's a good part of your day. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna have breakfast. I'm gonna go to Costco and get some Italian sausage. And, yeah, I hate you all.